and welcome back to another episode of the First Call Closer podcast. Today, joined with me on my right is CEO of Revamp Companies, Jeff Gear. Now, you guys may remember from episode 1 of First Call Closer, Jeff was actually our first coach on the very first episode, which I think is very appropriate for something very special we're going to do today. So with that, to my left, joined with me is the new CMO of Revamp Companies, Vishwas, Arora. Welcome, guys. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
I was wondering if you were ever going to have me back on.
Yeah, it's been a little while. It's been a little bit. But reason I say this is a special episode, and I'm excited to have Jeff here, is we're going to do things differently today. Typically what we do is the guy in Vish's seat would be a sales rep ready to be roasted a little bit, coached a little bit on how to sell. Obviously, that's not what we're going to do today. Instead, we're going to take a deep dive into what happens before a sales rep even gets out there. A key piece that's often overlooked, the actual marketing of a company, the marketing of how do we generate leads and what makes a successful lead generation campaign. And I'm super excited to have Vish here today because Vish has, well, I'll let you speak for yourself, Vish. Tell us a little bit about your history within home improvement. I know I've known you for the past 5-6 years in this industry. And yeah, just share a little bit about your history.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, all of you. Thanks, Alex and Jeff, for having me. And we are recording this on a day when today is basically my first day at Revamp, and I'm very happy to be here. I'm very excited to join Revamp and TSR Concrete. And I've known Jeff here for almost 10, 11 years now. It's like pretty long, right, Jeff?
The Kohler days.
Kohler days, exactly. I'm joining as a chief marketing officer, basically head of marketing, and I'm very happy to do this role. I have seen Jeff make, really do magic with his leadership in any company or any kind of organization Jeff is a part of. It's really fantastic. I've seen his leadership style. I've seen the way he transforms an organization into a very successful one. I've been following TSR and Revamp for a long time now, and I think I've really admired his leadership style and the overall team, of course. I've been in touch with some of the team members, and I think they're very good. They're very smart and intelligent. So I'm very positive about the way we can really change the way and, do a lot more, great things at Revamp and at TSR Concrete. So, I've been just about myself a little bit. Of course, some of you guys who are watching this know me. I've been in the home improvement industry for over almost 10 to 11 years now.
Wow.
I joined. My first stint was with Kohler, which was really more than 8 years.
Small company.
Small,
Kohler.
I was with Kohler.
Nobody's heard of them.
Yeah, I was with Kohler in the corporate in the corporate headquarters in Wisconsin. Joined them as a graduate intern in the beginning when they were launching a complete new business model, a complete new business channel, and I wrote their entire go-to-market strategy and their entire conversion philosophy basically. So yeah, it's kind of started off from there. From there, it ended recruiting the complete dealership, building the dealership model, recruiting 20-odd dealers in the country. One of them, of course, was Jeff's company. So
that's how you guys met.
That's how we guys met.
Kohler
relationship. Slowly I kind of landed into the leadership role at marketing at Kohler. Managed the complete lead generation, marketing, and analytics at Kohler Company for the Kohler's dealer channel, which really sold walk-in tubs, walk-in showers, Luxstone, and all that. So yeah, that was a great time. I built great relationships, great, amazing network, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot from everybody. Imagine being in Kohler, being in the center of the entire marketing excellence within Kohler, and being with people around people like Jeff and a lot of the leaders at dealerships, which were amazing. They were mid to large enterprise entrepreneurial setups which were doing fantastic. So I'm very happy, I'm very blessed that I've kind of been through that entire grind, let's just say, and learned everything from the bottom and learned this industry really well, traveled a lot across the country to meet and be with various teams, marketing teams, call center teams, sales reps, multiple, being at install jobs, being at sales calls and things like that. So really been in the bathroom industry for many years, and basically home improvement is typically the same. So a couple of years ago, I got a great opportunity working with a fantastic company called Sage Home, which was really good. Sage Home was the parent company, owning a couple of Kohler dealerships and a couple of other non-Kohler companies as well, and that grew fantastic for the last couple of years. So I was with them for until a couple of weeks ago, basically. I don't know when this program is going to get aired, but as of today, I'm joining as a chief marketing officer for Revamp and TSR, and I'm very, very happy of the way this journey is going to really pan out. And I think I'm gonna be able to add a lot of value based on the learnings that I have had with the my bathroom remodeling marketing, and the what I am gonna translate all those learnings and gonna translate my entire leadership to improve and kind of make things successful more at Revamp. So that's and again I'm a numbers person. I'm an engineer by education. I did my undergrad from India and IIT. So I look at numbers very, very closely, and that's really been the success mantra, to be honest, Alex. Why I've been very successful at making the Kohler program and the stage business very, very, very successful, because it's in the end it's a numbers game. You got to watch
It's all math, right?
It's all math. It's all numbers. It's all the way you kind of get from eyeballs to net sales. So you kind of manage the complete funnel, look at what's working and what's not, and really optimize things, and kind of move levers to make sure you get the highest ROI. So I'm very excited about that. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that things at Revamp are, if they are at this level, they're going to go further up. They're going to get much better. And I'm very happy about meeting with the team at Revamp, and of course engaging with them and learning from them, and of course making sure that they also learn a couple of things from me as well. So all that is up for the coming. So I'm very happy about it. So thank you.
How about just kind of going back to Kohler when you were there? I remember as a dealer under you guys, when you guys we had the shift, right? And when was it that Kohler kind of figured out like the walk-in safety tubs kind of had a limited potential? You had to have saw it in the marketing, and then you guys went all in on the shower program.
Yeah.
So like, what was the inner workings of the conversation there?
I think I'll say, Jeff, Kohler definitely had a good understanding of Kohler is a company 150-year-old. At that time it was 145-year-old, right? So 143-year-old. So it had a very good understanding of what their core audience was. The walk-in bath program was a way to enter. The walk-in bath product was a way to enter the dealer business. They always had a good understanding that the shower program, the shower business, the walk-in showers, Luxstone, and all that is gonna be a much much bigger market. It was a common understanding that yes, it's a bigger market. It's a larger chunk of the pie. It's just that they wanted a launching pad and something to start the business with. So walk-in bath was something which they launched with, which Kohler launched with, and slowly it was very fine that that yes, we got to launch a shower as well. We're just waiting for the right product. Plus there were some technical complications as well, which product to launch, because Kohler sells a lot of showers, sells a lot of shower products, but walk-in bath.
Yeah, they were already in the bath business.
They were already in the shower and bathroom business, but the walk-in bath was a unique product that they had not launched in a while, actually, because I will be technically incorrect if I say they hadn't launched ever, because they had a walk-in tub launched in the 1990s before.
Probably one of the first.
Probably one of the first, actually, in the industry. It was called the President's Tub, which they discontinued for channel reasons, basically. They couldn't find the right channel. I don't want to go into details on that. But the Kohler walk-in bath, the billet tub, was a new foray into this business, into the direct-to-consumer market, through a unique channel of selling through dealerships like you guys, doing advertising, national level advertising, direct response, television based. And they wanted to test this model, and it was a huge success, as you know. And then slowly, while I was working on the advertising and the marketing side of things, there was a team working on building the core product for the walk-in shower. That's how Luxstone got invented, let's just say. And then we kind of added that Luxstone business to the walk-in bath marketing as well. So, but yeah, I mean, and Luxstone has a huge success, as you know. I mean, yeah. So it's
great shower walls.
They're the great shower walls and the various product portfolio that they offer. So yeah, I want to say yes, of course. And on the way, they pivoted a lot. They pivoted a lot on like what is the best product, which is the best channel, how will they sell it? Is it a safety based focus or a luxury based focus? So those were the questions that came to us on a regular basis, and we tried to answer them in the whichever best means we could. So
did you guys find that you're like, well, I have this walk-in safety tub product, right? But it's pretty clear I can generate 3 times the leads on the shower side, right? Granted, you're still selling shower walls with your Kohler Belay tub, but you're going to push it even further if you can get them into every shower you're selling, right?
Absolutely. Actually after a point we tried to, because we realized that even a walk-in bat customer could install shower walls around, So why and that we measured you by attachment rates. We put special goals on
I remember your attachment rate.
Attachment rate, right?
Jeff, you're only at an 85% attachment rate.
85%. So yeah.
Why are you at 100?
In the 100. So,
Hey,
yeah,
I was one of the first ones that went 100% all Kohler. Just to lay that out there.
That's why, I share a very strong bond with you, because, the way we engage, of course, you were geographically close as well. So we kind of we met a lot in person as well. So you did great.
It was a great friendship. Yeah.
But I'm very happy the way it all happened. And I'm sure that, you started a company which is right now very successful Kohler dealership also still.
Yeah.
So, of course you kind of went on to doing some fantastic things after that, but the company you started is doing great again. It's still there, and is one of the best dealers out there. So I'm very proud. Again, you should be proud of yourself, and I think that the network is very proud of the way things have shaped up.
Absolutely. So getting getting past the Kohler piece of it, Jeff, when you stepped away from the Kohler business, you started what now is Revamp Companies, but back then it wasn't, right? It was in your garage, you out selling, installing, doing damn near everything, right?
Yeah, it was good times.
And that included the marketing, and really has included at least a good chunk of it, the marketing all the way to this point. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but Vish is the first CMO for Revamp Companies to date, which is rare for a company of this size, if not unheard of. So what made you decide, you know what, now's the time, I'm going to bring a CMO in and have somebody that really owns the marketing and lead generation side of the company?
Yeah, I got to tell you, it's a hard thing to give up, because it's really something that I've had my hands on this entire time, and there's very few people that I would even trust to take that, because it's such a significant part. Lead generation for any home improvement company is such a significant part. And I was like, if I'm gonna do it, I was like, I'm gonna recruit the best person possible for that role, the most highly sought after person for to be a CMO, and that was Vish.
I feel good about it. I feel really good about it.
Yeah. Oh, you should. I mean, if you go to any home improvement circle and you ask if you had to pick a CMO, who would you pick? They would all say Vish, right?
I appreciate it.
And I don't think there's no denying that. And so we went straight to that. We had several talks, and I said, you know what? We got to make it happen. What's kind of spurred that was, my buddy Tommy B at Bertram, who's probably going to be watching this. To put it kindly, he's like, I need you doing more CEO style things, more acquisitions, more this, more that. And he's like, I need you to stop working so much. I have a tendency, because I like our business, I have a tendency to work in our business, maybe a little bit more than I work on it, just from a standpoint that I love what we do, right? And so I understand now that it's time for us to build out that C-suite. And so we've brought Vish on board to be our CMO. And then we also just newly promoted Derek Gibson to be our COO. So he's actually been in that role for, officially today, but he kind of started it 2 weeks ago. So we'll make those announcements on LinkedIn and all the social media platforms and things like that. So we really are I'm taking the time. I took what Tom said, and I said, listen, I gotta build out the C-suite. And if I'm going to build it out and I'm going to relinquish the things that I love to do, I better do it to somebody that I know won't screw it up.
Absolutely. You can trust. And I think even, being at this scale of business, people may think, well, I'm nowhere near $200 million a year in revenue. I don't need a CMO. But I think the principle still applies, though, right? What things are you doing in the business that you should be delegating? So if somebody is maybe handling 100% of their marketing today, even if they maybe only have 5, 10 sales reps, and they're thinking, I need to delegate the marketing, maybe it's not a CMO, somebody of Vish's caliber, we'll say, but what should they be looking for in qualities of that person that they're hiring to take over their marketing and lead generation and own that and make it a success?
Yeah, I think, well, he's expensive. There's no doubt. But, but you get what you pay for. And I've always been a believer in that and the things that we sell.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, but it's going to be worth it. It's not how much it is. It's the value I receive in return, right? But it's really, what I would say to those people is try to delegate, and I think Vish would agree with this, try to delegate certain parts of that marketing, right? There are some third-party sources you can do. There are people agencies, if you will,
That's right.
that can handle some of it while you can handle some of it if you're not at a point where you want to turn it over to other people, kind of the way that I'm doing here, right? And so there are agencies that will handle certain aspects of the marketing. And I would say, as an entrepreneur of a home improvement business, a lot of owners of home improvement businesses don't really ever like to give up the marketing part.
Right. It's one of the last things that they let go. And I think it's because it feeds the business, right?
It feeds the business.
I mean, there's that saying, the who controls the leads controls the business, because if there are no leads, there's no business.
Because I think the entrepreneurs are also very close to the customer. They know who their customer audience base is, and that's the precise reason why they started off as on this business. So I think Jeff knows his audience, who actually wants a new garage coating or who wants a new deck. So he knows what my audience wants, and I'll feed him exactly what. So and the way you have put this entire setup in this office, it is fantastic. So really, I think it's it's difficult to say. It's a pretty big size, I want to say, setup over here, and the way you have set things up, and I think it's awesome. I think
something that's going to be a little different for you in this role that you haven't had access to or been able to do in the past is you have 100% autonomy in the call center too, right?
Yeah.
So I that was one of the big points.
Let's talk about that, because some companies really separate that out, right? Marketing, call center, they're two very different departments. But what you're saying within Revamp, Vish will not only be responsible for the lead generation, but then what happens with the lead after it comes in.
Yeah, I think it would be unfair to grade or compensate any CMO based on if he only was responsible for generating the lead and didn't have any input or say or control over what happened to it afterwards. But I'm still grading him on that.
Right. How is that fair?
No, I can agree with that. I totally agree with that. I think,
but you haven't had that before.
I haven't had that, but I will say, but again, I've had a good overall experience managing and working with training call center people during the Kohler days, because again, I was on the marketing side, and the call center was my customer, and I used to deal with like 20 odd call centers. So occasionally we used to go and visit the call center. So it's not something which is outside of my this thing, or I have always been close to them. But this will be a very interesting role, and I agree with Jeff that a CMO and someone at my role, an SVP, VP, or a CMO, it's important for them to have control and say within the call center, so that they can actually, because in the end, our goal is to fill the sales rep schedule, not just put data out there. Our goal is to fill the reps schedule, their appointment calendar, and so they're busy with the right quality of appointments.
Man, I think I just got to pause there, because I think that is such a huge thing for anybody out there that is thinking about hiring somebody to manage their lead generation and marketing. Is what Vish just said is exactly what they should say when you're talking to them. It's not about the data. No. It's not about how many leads I brought in. It's about how full the appointments were for the reps. Did they have full opportunities to be able to go out and sell? Because if that's not there, nothing else matters.
Yeah, well, we've gotten ourselves, at Revamp into, sometimes I'll call it a predicament or whatever, where we feel like we're doing good because we're setting 250, 300 appointments a day, but how many are falling off, right? How many are, what I really care about today is what is my same day, next day schedule look like versus I don't care how many appointments you set for 7 days from now.
Right. Doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
Because, we all know what happens. They fall off the schedule, right?
And I strongly believe that these things can also be managed. Of course, call center is a very, it's a communication thing. It's in the end, it's a communication thing. It's a customer touch point, which of course I'm sure Jeff has built a fantastic call center here with great agents and reps, and I'm going to be working closely with the call center manager and director also. But I think in the end, it's also managing numbers. For same day, next day sets. Set rate, set rate fall off. I mean, issue rate numbers, demo rate, all these are in the end numbers that you have to monitor. And your dashboards and your key indicators should indicate to you like what is the problem. So in the end, it's all about finding the right problem and then solving it. So I think, between me and Jeff, I'm sure we'll be able to improve the numbers, the issue rates, the demo rates, all the important KPIs. I really hope, I'm sure that we will be able to, kind of skyrocket them much, much better.
Absolutely. But I mean, the key of what you said there, you have to know the numbers, you have to have the dashboard to see it, but you have to actually go and then make it happen. do what needs to be done to get the result Jeff is looking for. He doesn't care at the end of the month how many leads you brought in. He cares, is tomorrow set? Is the day after, do I have a full schedule? That's what matters.
That's right.
So
I also care about the cost.
and the cost. Any CEO should, absolutely.
I care about how we spent the money to get there.
That's right.
And now, Vish, I know I hear from a lot of our clients, our first call closer clients, they tell me, Alex, great, I want to sell more, but I don't have enough leads right now. Leads have dried up. It's not COVID anymore. Where do you see the best places right now to generate leads that maybe others aren't seeing as kind of a new blue ocean to be able to go in?
This is a very, this could be just, there are many ways to answer this question, I want to say. Right now, lead generation, first of all, if you compare the current scenario of lead generation with the COVID times, it is going to be, it's like comparing apples and oranges.
Right. But everybody wants it to be COVID again.
Yeah. Well, that's a very dangerous thing to say, but
I mean, most,
it's his podcast.
You can
We're
say
just
whatever.
guests.
I'm not subscribing to those thoughts at all. But yeah, I think so. And I think the market has, one way to say that the market has saturated. Facebook, Meta, Google search is all saturated. The audiences, you can't really find new audiences. That is right in a way. But I think people like us, what our skill set is to be creative. Is to be creative by what? By doing. Facebook is still untapped. I think Facebook or search. Just let's talk about Facebook in general. Social media is still untapped. Look at the audience size. When you pull a small Facebook campaign, you get an audience size of like 10 million. Like how many leads you really get from it?
Right.
Maybe a couple of hundred, right? And there will be tons of competitors. There will be lots of coding companies in your 50-mile radius. There will be lots of bathroom in your 100-mile radius. But you got to stand out. And I think it's very important to be really creative. Continue to push a lot of creative concepts out there. Continue to push A/B testing. I think in our age, content is king. We still underrate our content. We need to, and this is one thing which I really love about the way Jeff has really, inspired this team and the marketing team and the way infrastructure you've got to put. The way I believe we will roll out content like crazy. I think install content, real-time content which people really relate with. That is really important. We still underrated. So be creative in your content strategy. Be creative in your overall A/B testing strategy, editing. In the end, I think we are. Everyone like. We all see reels all the time. Reels. In the end, we are in the reel business right now. We have to put out
the eyeballs are.
Eyeballs. We have to put out right reels where the eyeballs are and get
15-second clips are king.
15-second, exactly. So I think we got to be. Social media is still untapped. There is still a lot to be done. Plus, of course, watching numbers carefully, again, managing things very, very properly. And in the end, performance marketing through Google search. I think search campaigns can still be much, much better. There is demand out there. How do you tap that demand? How do you capture it? How do you really convert it into a funnel, into your lead? Landing page strategy. I don't know how many companies really still work on an LPO or a CRO strategy. I don't know that. I got to really deep dive into. In the next couple of weeks, I'm going to deep dive into CRO or overall CRO program. Like what are the techniques that I have to use for doing landing page testing and things like that? How many pages do we have? So things like that. There's a lot to be done to really optimize and get better. And of course, we can't forget the traditional media. I know we are in election times and people sometimes make decisions, think that, hey, let's pull back from this or, just do digital or don't do TV. I think we got to be very, very conscious and we got to be very smart in deciding what we run. Direct mail and TV are still the bread and butter, I believe. They are very, very popular. We need to put the right focus, of course, with the right way. You can't put a lot of money, but with the right way, right? Measure things. You got to look at matchbacks. You got to look at all the attribution. So there are various ways. I think you got to be creative with creativity and smartness and number management. I think lead generation has no limit, basically.
Going on TV there, you think you get like a smaller mid-market, we'll say Madison or Milwaukee. Use Madison as an example. It's a pretty high cost TV market for where it's at. Thanks, Mad City. And what would shout out. But it's not just them. There's for whatever reason that market just tends to be expensive for not very high rating. There's nothing spectacular about it, right? So what would you say to a company that is trying to advertise in a market like Madison or it doesn't have to be that one, but something similar that the TV, I just can't afford to play in this market for $20,000 a month?
maybe then TV, maybe then linear TV is not a good idea for this market. See, if you have tried TV for a good 3 to 4 months in a matter of changing seasons or changing seasonalities, and it doesn't work at all, then maybe you gotta find, maybe it's not meant for that particular timeline. A good alternative for TV is OTT. I think linear TV is great, but test and OTT connected TV, it really gives you a lot of options. It's digital. It's not TV. It's digital marketing in the end.
Right. It's similar to more like Meta or Facebook.
It's something Meta or Facebook. It's like advertising on YouTube. So and it gives you options it gives you multiple options to A/B test creatives, different length forms. So OTT and the way it's managed, it's managed with the help of data. I mean, you can really measure it down to the T. So which is very powerful.
You can get to your customer, right? A lot better. Honestly, the way that we used to be able to get to your customer at Meta, I remember we used to be able to be like, I want a homeowner.
Everything.
I want him to make $75,000 to $200,000.
Those were the days.
I used to be able to take a static Facebook before and after picture, boost it for 350, 30 leads, bam.
Yeah.
You know, those days are gone.
Those days are gone because the thing is that trick is already out there. That trick everybody has learned. So
But they don't even let you do it anymore. You can't pick a homeowner anymore. You know, Facebook keeps changing, you know, what the criteria is you can choose from, and it feels like every 2 or 3 years they're swapping it up. I mean, one thing that really hurt us, and I mean, you know, you can speak to this, but when Facebook stopped basing the ads people are seeing based on where their home is, so people flying into Chicago from all over the place are getting delivered our ads, and we're getting a ton of out of area leads because the people we don't service the area, we don't service Texas, but they're flying into Chicago and getting an ad for it.
Right.
There are ways to fix it, though. There are ways to fix it, and Facebook itself provides you ways to fix it. You can also apply some additional filters on top of the leads on top of campaigns to avoid such leads. So I agree on that. But just to kind of complete a point on the OTT thing, I think that's something which we should try, which every company should try. And there are lots of avenues of doing it. And there are platforms. I don't want to advocate. I don't want to. Nobody's paying me to pick a name or something. But I know of some really good platforms which are doing a good job on managing your dollars and cents against OTT. So
how about YouTube? What's your thoughts? YouTube Shorts.
Why not? I've done YouTube. I mean, I've done YouTube. We've tried YouTube at Sage and multiple other areas, and they work. I mean, right now my latest stint with, if I just try to recall my YouTube dashboard, the cost per lead for YouTube is almost as similar to Meta. Basically,
Really?
it never used to be. I mean, I remember trying YouTube at Kohler. This was 5 years ago, and this was during COVID, by the way, like 4 years ago. My cost per lead was very, very high. It was so high, and I couldn't watch it. I couldn't measure it. I couldn't watch where the lead go, like appointment or demo or not. But now I can actually measure it. I can really track it all the way down. So
That's
yes.
interesting.
That's wild because you think people just be sitting around watching YouTube videos during COVID.
Probably more so now than ever, though. I think
they're
YouTube
watching.
is surpassing like traditional TV now for hours watched in the home.
Yeah.
Just on TVs, it's crazy. But that's where our eyeballs are going for sure. Now, Vish, one thing you hit on that really any of these platforms to be successful, I think, comes down to a lot of the content that you have on there now. And one thing I think interesting about Jeff and the way that you've built Revamp is while you haven't had a CMO, you've had a full video crew that's on staff with a whole video studio and whole crew that handles that. But that's not a new thing. Maybe at that scale it is. How early, though, did you have a first content creator on staff for TSR Revamp?
Everyone laughed at me whenever I told them back in 2017 that I had a full-time videographer.
And when did TSR start?
2017.
So you had it from nearly day one.
Visionary. I knew this guy was visionary always.
Dude, everybody thought I was crazy. They're like, I cannot believe that you're paying somebody to just drive around and take pictures and do video.
You probably weren't paying him that much either.
He was doing okay. Yeah, I don't think he was hurting. But
it was nothing insane, nothing uninformed that a small business owner couldn't afford to get someone part-time contractor to build out there.
I paid him full-time, a 40-hour week, and the expectation was that every day he was shooting content for something. We have so much B-roll footage from, we've had 2 or 3 videographers now at this point, and now we have a full 4th floor production team that's set all this stuff up and everything. That I think that, that experience taught me that I have to have, if I want to be able to go to Dragon over here, and I want to say I need a 15-second video on this tomorrow. He has it buried somewhere in all this nerdy stuff.
It's there and ready to go now.
It's everywhere, right?
I think the
No, I mean, Vish, I'm sure you've probably done some calculations on this, or could. But a small business owner to even look at, how much could I improve my lead cost by hiring that person that will create quality content versus just putting out the graphics that I make that are costing me X amount of dollars for a lead, right? The creative can be such a variable that drives down lead cost.
Absolutely. I don't have a calculation in front of me on how much you want to spend on videographer and all that, but clearly it's a great investment to make. And having somebody on staff or having flexibility to, if you want a new reel, if you want like 10 reels in the next 48 hours, I think if you have the possibility of doing that, it's the best thing to do. It's the best thing to have right now. Instead of having 3 different vendors on your lead generation ad, have somebody who can get you 10 reels in 48 hours and start putting them out there in the marketplace. That's what marketing is right now. Yeah. So it is very important. It is very.
Then the
important.
reel drives it back through the funnel, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then of course that is there, and then you got a solid LPO strategy. You got a CRO plan, and then lead generation. Of course, CRM wise, somebody watching numbers. I think I think I've given a complete recipe of the complete
I've given all the secrets.
Yeah, here's the great part: you give it all away, you mix it up for them, and they still don't do nothing with it. So
right.
You could tell the same thing 5 different times, and they people still won't do it. And hopefully, some people take a lot of good things from what we've talked about today, and they apply that to their business.
That's right.
But dude, we're super excited to have you. I have been just anticipating this day for quite some time, and I think where Revamp's at today, we're ranked number 26 on the top 500. I think that between me and you and Tarun and Derek and all of our other team here, there's no doubt in my mind that we'll be top 15. And top 15 on the top 500.
That is a great feat to be at. Yeah.
All right, so we'll do an update episode 1 year from today here and see did we succeed? Top 15.
That's my performance rating then, right?
That's your performance rating.
Let's get it.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for both being here. Ton of fun here, and look forward to seeing how this goes.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.